My husband, Alex, had always been demanding, but lately his behavior had worsened. He treated me like a maid, not just within the confines of our home, but even in front of others. His latest act of belittlement occurred during a dinner party he hosted for his boss and colleagues. The evening began with a flurry of activity as I meticulously prepared the house and the meal. Alex barely acknowledged my efforts, barking orders and complaining about trivial matters. I swallowed my pride and focused on making sure everything was perfect. This dinner was important for Alex's career, and I wanted to help in any way I could. As guests arrived, I was introduced not as Alex's wife, but merely as someone who helped keep things in order. I served drinks and appetizers, trying to stay out of the limelight. When his boss, Mr. Johnson, arrived, Alex's behavior became even more condescending. "Emma, get us another bottle of wine," Alex ordered, not bothering to look at me. I nodded, feeling a flush of embarrassment. As I turned to fetch the wine, I noticed Mr. Johnson watching me. His gaze was curious, and I sensed a flicker of recognition in his eyes. Throughout the evening, I continued to serve and clean up, barely participating in the conversation. Alex's boss, however, seemed increasingly interested in me. During dinner, he asked questions about the meal, complimenting my culinary skills. "This roast is exceptional, Emma. Did you make it yourself?" Mr. Johnson asked. I nodded, offering a polite smile. "Yes, I did. I'm glad you like it." As the night wore on, Mr. Johnson's interest shifted from the food to me. He asked about my background, my interests, and my thoughts on various topics. Alex looked annoyed, but Mr. Johnson seemed genuinely engaged. After dessert, Mr. Johnson pulled me aside while Alex was distracted. "Emma, I couldn't help but notice your talent and poise tonight. You have a remarkable presence. Have you ever considered a career outside of this household?" I was taken aback by his question. No one had ever acknowledged my potential like this. "I haven't, Mr. Johnson. I've always been focused on supporting Alex." Mr. Johnson smiled warmly. "Call me Richard. And Emma, you deserve more than being treated like an afterthought. If you're interested, I have a friend who runs a culinary institute. They could use someone with your skills and passion." My heart raced at the prospect of a new opportunity. "Thank you, Richard. I'll think about it." The evening ended and the guests departed. Alex barely acknowledged me as he headed to bed. As I cleaned up, I thought about Richard's words. For the first time in years, I felt a spark of hope. The next morning, I woke up with a sense of determination. I called the number Richard had given me and arranged a meeting with his friend at the Culinary Institute. A week later, I started working part-time, immersing myself in a world where my talents were appreciated. Alex's attitude didn't change, but I did. I grew more confident and independent, finding joy in my work and new friendships. Richard remained a supportive mentor, encouraging me to pursue my dreams. Months passed, and I thrived in my new role. One evening, after a particularly successful event, I returned home to find Alex waiting for me. His face was etched with frustration. "Where have you been?" he demanded. "I needed you here tonight." I looked at him, feeling a sense of calm. "Alex, I've been working. I have a job now, and it's important to me." He scoffed. "You're neglecting your duties here." I shook my head. "No, Alex, I'm finding my own path. I won't be treated like a maid anymore." Our marriage didn't survive the change, but I did. I moved into a small apartment, relishing my newfound freedom. My work at the Culinary Institute flourished, and I eventually opened my own restaurant. a place where I poured my heart and soul into every dish. Richard remained a close friend and mentor, and my life blossomed in ways I never imagined. I discovered my worth and strength, realizing that I deserved respect and happiness. In the end, Alex's belittlement had pushed me toward a new beginning. I built a life where I was valued and respected, not just by others, but by myself. And that was the greatest triumph of all. The next chapter of my life began with a small bistro downtown. I named it Emma's Table, a cozy place where patrons could enjoy homemade meals in a warm, welcoming environment. The bistro quickly became a local favorite, known for its delicious food and friendly atmosphere. One day, while preparing for the lunch rush, Richard walked in. He took a seat at the counter, smiling as he watched me work. "Emma, this place is incredible," he said, glancing around. "I knew you had it in you." I blushed, wiping my hands on my apron. "Thank you, Richard. I couldn't have done it without your support." He waved a hand dismissively. "You had the talent all along. You just needed the opportunity to shine." As the months turned into years, Emma's Table grew in popularity. I hired a small staff, all of whom shared my passion for food and community. We hosted cooking classes, charity events, and even local art exhibitions. The bistro became more than a restaurant. It was a hub for creativity and connection. Despite my busy schedule, I made time for myself. I joined a book club, took up painting, and traveled whenever I could. I visited culinary festivals, learning new techniques and bringing back fresh ideas to the bistro. Life was full and vibrant, a stark contrast to the years I spent under Alex's thumb. One sunny afternoon, as I was arranging flowers on the bistro's outdoor tables, a familiar face appeared. It was Alex. He looked older, more worn, and there was a hint of regret in his eyes. "Emma," he began, his voice tentative. "Oh, can we talk?" I straightened up, feeling a mix of emotions. "Sure, Alex. What's on your mind?" He glanced around, taking in the bustling bistro. "You've done well for yourself. I'm sorry for how I treated you. I didn't realize what I had until it was gone." I nodded, appreciating his apology, but feeling no desire to rekindle anything from the past. "Thank you, Alex. I've moved on, and I hope you can too." He sighed, looking down. "I just wanted to say that, to let you know I'm sorry." With a nod, I watched him leave, feeling a sense of closure. I had no ill will towards Alex, but my life had taken a different path, one that led to happiness and fulfillment. As the years passed, I continued to build my legacy. Emma's Table expanded to a second location, and I published a cookbook filled with my favorite recipes and stories. Richard retired, and we often reminisced about the night that changed everything. One evening, as the sun set over the bustling city, I sat on the balcony of my apartment, reflecting on my journey. From a housewife belittled by her husband to a successful entrepreneur, I had come a long way. The challenges I faced had only made me stronger. With a smile, I raised my glass to the sky, to new beginnings, to finding my worth, and to the future that lay ahead. And thus, my story continued, a testament to the power of resilience, self-discovery, and the unyielding pursuit of happiness. Emma has always been the dutiful wife, catering to her demanding husband, Alex, who treats her more like a maid than a partner. During an important dinner party with Alex's boss and colleagues, Emma's culinary talents catch the eye of Mr. Johnson, who sees in her a spark of potential that Alex has long overlooked. Encouraged by Mr. Johnson's belief in her abilities, Emma embarks on a journey of self-discovery and independence. She transforms her life, rising from the shadows of her marriage to find her true worth and passion. From Shadows to Sunshine is a heartwarming tale of resilience, courage, and the unyielding pursuit of happiness.